Okay guys, we have our reading setup that it's time to create our authentication to login screen. So we just have to deal with that login screen. So we have our login already. We have our login. So we have our form. So what we will do is that we just have to fetch that API and connect our database to our front end. So what I will do is that connect these two, you have to use a proxy first, to access all these APIs from database. Either you can use a com.env in the source, otherwise you will use a proxy. Right now we will just use see that proxy. So we just have to use that proxy, and every time you use the proxy you have to start your development server. Okay guys, you have to start that. Okay, you have to use and start your terminal, close that your server, then start your front end. Okay, so I will just say https localhost. Our backend is running on 5000, right? That is running, that it's my database connection. Okay, my backend is here. Okay, it's running on 5000, right? So we just have to create right now. What is that I will do? Let me stop the server, then I will just clear it, then I will restart again. That will restart my front end. So let's go, and what we have is that we just have to deal and create our how to get and access this API into our client. Okay, so what I will do is that now I will just create our authentication slice. So I will create one file called auth slice. That is auth slice will handle all our user related database schema. So what we will say, I will just kill and okay, I will use the rx slice that is coming from React snippet user. That if you have this extension, then you can use that also. Okay, the React snippet. Okay, ES7. So that is called ES7. Let me say ES7 snippet. Okay, that is the extension. Okay, you can use React Redux, like React Native, Redux, all of them. Okay, so you just have to use these shorts, then it will give you that. So I don't have matches here. It's just like, that it will create a function, and that will create a slice, and that will hold a name of that slice, and we will call that auth, because that is authentication, and we have initial state, and we'll have a reducer, and that will reducer will have our functions. Okay, everything that will have a function, that will have our actions, sorry guys. So that will have like every action that we want to dispatch, and we will have these inside here. Okay, so right now let me create one initial state that is going to hold our user credential, and that will be user info. Okay, that user information we want to have when we log in, we want to have that information stored into our local storage. So we already have JW token, so to create cookies and save that data into our database, right? When we log in, we will get access to this credential. So we just have to create a user info which holds that can access this user information, because Redux tool is a state, it will handle our state, right? So we just have to get that and store that state, right? And we will name it user info. So I will just create that and make it get item, and I will name it user info. Then I will just go and say the create user info. So I will just use a JSON. I will parse and make it JSON data. So I will just say local storage get item. Then I will get this user info data. If it's not there, then I will make it null. Okay, that's how it is. That is easy guys, it's easy to use. If you practice this all again and again, then you will understand what I'm doing. So you just have to practice and do it like, okay, this is like a ternary operator. So that's the first condition, this the second condition. Okay, so I will make it null. First I will pass and make that, get the user and save it to local storage. Then so here it's an object, so it's not equal, it's like okay, whatever is. So I will just come to here and I will create one actual call user, because we have to get the user credential. I will make user credentials. Okay, that user credential will be like state and action. Okay, we have to get the state and the action itself. Okay, so I will just say, I will just pass that whatever user info I have, I will just pass the payload. Okay, action that payload that we will get in access after we access our API. Okay, that will just pass the data in there, user info, whatever is that data, I will just pass it there. So I will just save it. Okay, locally storage set item, then I will just say user info, that's what we name it, right? Then I will just say JSON dot pass, and I will just pass the data, then action dot payload. Okay, whatever is that, it will pass that payload. Okay, so what I have is that I just have to import that that action. Okay, user slice action is okay. I will just pass and import that. Okay, it's like user credentials. Okay, it's called user credentials. Then I have to create one more file to access and create and get the API. So that's gonna handle my user API slice. I will name it the folder user API slice. So what I will do now is I will just create a function which can handle my API slice, and I will name I will say, I will name it what, okay, user API slice. Let me make user API slice. Okay, I will say export. I will make the user API slice. I will just create a function. That function will handle my API slice. So I have a API slice, then it will inject, that will inject the endpoints. Okay, whatever we have an object and that gonna have an endpoint, it's a function that holds a builder. Okay, that builder also, I will just get an object inside that builder, then I will create a one function that handle my login route. Okay, and I will name it login. So I will just, it's a boss method, so I will just use that mutation, because when it's a boss method you have to use that mutation, otherwise it's going to be query, because that is going to get the user data, but it's boss method right now, so we have to use builder that mutation. So let me pass the data and the URL. So I will just say query, so we have a data here, because we will get the data from the login because we already create login user in our controller in the API. So we will just get the data and I will pass the URL here. So I will just use the text, then I will just pass, okay, user is URL, so that's what we name it. Okay, inside our constants, then we have a login, right? That's what we name it. Let me back to my backend. Let me go back to my backend and I will go to routes. In the routes I have user routes, right? So that's login. Then in the server we have API users, right? And API users, that's what is before is that localhost 5000, right? So we already proxy that into our package JSON into our client side. So we have a package, we have localhost 5000 API users login. So it's gonna be like that. So you see here we have our stores, it's gonna be like, okay, where is constant, it's gonna be like localhost 5000 API users, then we have a login. Okay, and it's gonna be login, then the method will be like, it's gonna pause and get the access in a data, so it's a pause method. So, and we just have to have the body and we just pass the body in a data. Okay, simple to use, guys. You just have to practice this, you will understand. Again we're doing this in the users, we will just use this type of Redux, but later on we'll just use a different type of managing our slices, so we're just using this for the user API slice. Okay, so I will just get the user API slice, right? So I have to get the login. Okay, and it's gonna be like you have to use login mutation. That is how you will use it. Okay, so we already create our user is API slice, and we also we have our auth slice. Then we just have to come and go to login screen, and the login screen, this is where our logic goes. Okay, we have a form, right? Then we just have to access these, the route and the credential itself. So we just have to get access these form fields, whatever it is, then we just have to pass into the local storage, and we just have to pass that data and save it, and we get the login. Okay, so I will just use an event handler here. So it's going to be on submit, and I will say submit handler. I will say submit handler. Okay, let me make that capital. I will use a camel case here. So I will just create that submit handler. Okay, okay, I will just say submit handler, and it's gonna take E as a parameter, and I will just say the okay, try and catch. I will, because it's synchronized, and I just have to prevent default submit. Okay, and it's gonna be prevent default. I don't want to submit, and just refresh my form, so it's gonna prevent that. So what I will do is that I just have to access that and just create and redirect to my dashboard. Okay, and I just have to access that. Okay, I will just use one called dispatch that will dispatch our function. Okay, and it's going to be use dispatch, and it's coming from React Redux. Okay, also I will just get that login mutation that we just created, and it's a boss method. It has to be a okay, an array, like an array. Okay, what was it? Use login mutation. Okay, and just have to call that. Also you can get the bail, like is loading an error. Okay, so in the error, and okay, we'll just use to get the notification of that error. Okay, so I will just go and come to, I will use React Toastify. Okay guys, React Toastify, I'm already here. Just have to go to React Toastify. Okay, okay, React Toastify, you just have to install one package called React Toastify. Okay, I will just grab this MBI React Toastify. I will just go to my, I will open another terminal, and I will just install the React. I already installed it before, but I will just say React Toastify, and I installed that because we need to get the error notification. Okay, if we get even success notification, we will use it. Okay, so I will just come to my index.js, then I already imported. Okay, so you just have to use and grab these two. Okay, you just have to grab that. I already grab it because I was doing test, so you have to grab it and pass it here. You just have to pass it here, then you will just use this component, and I will use it inside the provider. Okay, in the main app. Okay, so you will use it here, then you will get access into your whatever log error or maybe success message that you will have. It's gonna get it. Okay, so I have set up my submit handler, and I have my try catch, and I will say that okay, what I will say is that I will just get the response. I will just get the response, and I will just say await, because okay, I have to pass here a synchronous function because we're handling whatever we're dealing in API. So it's gonna be await, so it's gonna be login, because we have a login in our slice. So we will say login, and we have a data that is going to be our email, and that is going to be our password. So what I will say that is going to be password. Okay, so we have our data when we put our form in the email and password. So we just have to access this and get it. Okay, so I will just go to our network tools. So I will fetch that and get the response, whatever it is. If it's error or if it's successful, we will just go to the network tab, then I will just get it. Okay, so I will just dispatch and one action, because we just want to set that into our, okay, I will just set that and say user credential. Okay, so that's what we name it, right? User credential. And I will just get the data, everything, whatever response that I'm getting. So I will just make this use one wrap here, and I will just say it. So whatever is that after getting, if that is successful, I will just say toast coming from React Toastify and success message, because we already get a success. Okay, I will just log in successfully, because we have a success message. If we have an error, then we just have to handle the error here. Okay, so I will just say toast that error is gonna be like the, I will just make this another error. Okay, we'll just make it error. So whatever error that I get and the data of that error, I will just get the message. Okay, so I'll just make it, okay, if it's error there I will get, otherwise it would gonna be passed to null. Otherwise I will just make it error. Okay, otherwise you can pass it here, maybe a message like an error occurred, otherwise you just have to get that error. Okay, so whatever it is that I'm getting, so I will just get the error here. Otherwise I will just log in successfully and I will get the login successful message. Okay, when I get successfully, I wanna get and go to the dashboard. Okay, right now I'm in a login screen, so when I get successfully, I wanna redirect to the dashboard. Okay, so I wanna handle that, so I will just handle that. Let me make that small. So I will just create one variable called search, and that is gonna be like use location. It's gonna handle and get the location that we want to go. So I will just create also one variable const. Let me make the, okay, sp is equal new, okay, like url search parameters, and that is gonna search your parameters, and it's gonna be the search, whatever that search you did. We have to import this use location. Okay, I just control space and React router DOM. Also I will just use the and access that sp we create. So I will just create one variable called redirect, because I want to redirect when we have a successfully login to the dashboard. Okay, so I will say sp.get, I will get the routes, so I will just redirect automatically. I will just redirect to the home, otherwise to dashboard. We'll make authentic, like if the user doesn't have a token and having a credential and successfully login, we will not go to the dashboard. We will create that later on. Okay, otherwise right now we just have to get go to the dashboard. Okay, when we successfully log in. Okay, I will make it redirect. Okay, otherwise I will just make it this one to be to dashboard. Okay, otherwise it's gonna be like here, it's gonna be to the dashboard. Okay, I will go to the dashboard. Okay, so what I will do that I will just have to, if there is a user info, I will just navigate to the dashboard. Okay, otherwise we'll just go to the home page that we have. Okay, but later on, if the user is not logged in or I have no token, it's not authentic, we will not make it to go through the dashboard. Okay, we will handle that later on. That authentication and the clearance will handle later on, but let's just test. And right now, so what I will do is that I will just clear it here. Then what user, we have our database. We have a like John Doe, we have a Mac, so I will just use the Mac, and I will say mac@gmail.com. Then I will just say 12345 Okay, that is a number. We just have to make that as a password. Where is the password? I will pass the type here. Okay, I will pass the type, and that type is gonna be password. Okay, we just have to make that password. Okay, sorry, don't forget that, guys, to add that. Okay, I just make it to the password, and that automatically change. Okay, we have a how many? Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I don't want to, but let me submit. Invalid email and password. See, that is beautiful, guys. That's coming from our backend. Okay, see, I have an invalid email and password error. See, that is because I just have to have the right password. I have to add it, and 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then I hit enter. Login successfully. Okay, that is gonna log in. Okay, but we didn't add and navigate to the dashboard. Okay, so I will just add the navigate. I will say navigate. I will say navigate to be to the redirect. Okay, it will be redirect. So we just have to say navigate. Okay, I will just create a folder. Okay, I will just create a one variable that is gonna be okay. I'll just make this one. It's gonna be const navigate. It's gonna be use navigate. Okay, so it's gonna redirect to our navigation. Okay, if that is successful. Okay, and we just have to see that our Redux tool is already. See, we just have to access. All right, I didn't pass the authentication, guys. I didn't pass that because we have to have our store. It has to keep our information of that user info, right? So we will gonna be, and we just forget that. Okay, and we'll just come here and we'll just say auth. I will just name the auth, and we'll say auth is live. Okay, and import that. Okay, you can name this one auth reducer, but I will just keep it there. I refresh, and I will just go back to my auth slice. Let me refresh this one. Okay, let me refresh this one. We have a user, right? We have a successful user here. Let me just, user is null, right? Or user info is null. Why is that? Because I think we get the message, but right now let me try again. Okay, what's the mac@gmail.com. Okay, I want to put the password. Okay, I put the password and I hit enter. I'm getting successfully the message. I'm getting successful the user, but what is not redirecting to my dashboard? Okay, what I'm missing there. I don't know what I did. I miss it here. Okay, use navigate I have, and it's gonna be logging successfully, and I'm passing my credential to the response itself. So what I didn't add is it what I forget. Okay, and I save it again. My local is running, and my backend also is running. Let me say check the backend also. Okay, I have a successful user here. Let me refresh that. Okay, application, I will just clear it because I think we already have a data there. So because we have to refresh that, we don't have a user logout right now, but later on we will have. Okay, I will just come to the network. Let me put again the mark@gmail.com. Then I will have a password. Then I submit. Okay, I'm fetching the database. What I did, and I'm not getting anything here. Why is user info is null? Let me go back to here, guys, why is alt slice here? Okay, our alt slide that we getting and setting the item. Okay, what did did the mistake here? I think I have a mistake somewhere here. I have a user info. I set the item and I say set the item, the user info. Okay, local storage, get item, the user info I have. Then I make it JSON. Then I pass that in a local storage also. Alright, then I have a state that is pushing to my user info the data, whatever payload that I have. So, and I get the user credential action import successful. Then I set and get my user info in the local storage. So what I will do is that, okay, I think I have some misspelling somewhere in the component, guys. Okay, dispatch user credentials, then I import this one. Okay, I have also email password and I have is loading. Also I have an error, so whatever error is that I will use. All right, so let's just test one more. Okay, guys, still my user info is null.